a bad person's book. Well, because if you say how to be a good person's book, that would kind of make sense to rob.
Yeah, because you don't know how to be a good person.
Yeah, so how to be a bad person, but you wouldn't rob that because you're a good person.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we all set up? Okay. Welcome back to our seventh. Is this seventh episode?
I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, it is a seventh. So wow, that means next week we're going to be on eight. That means we have more podcast episodes than the universe has colours. That's pretty impressive. Yeah,
it's very
only 7. Welcome back to our 7th episode. What do we touch on a few things before we introduce our guest. John's away. Do you know where he's gone?
No. Away.
He's gone fine.
He set up an alternative podcast, is it?
He couldn't do that actually. No, but he's undercover. He's actually he's figured out how to. That's actually true. I've never actually seen Dustin the Turkey and John in the same room.
There you go.
Maybe he's gone off doing a.
We need to find out how Dustin the Turkey feels about St. Paddy's Day. If he's
yeah.
If his views line up, you could be onto something.
No, I think John apparently he said he's figured it out. St. Patrick's Day, so he's busy today. Celebrating. Yeah, he figured it out. The Oktoberfest, yeah, do you want to talk about that for a minute? This episode will be out on Monday.
So it's out this Friday, isn't it? This Friday is Oktoberfest.
So this episode will be out Monday, but
today's Monday.
Today's Monday. And so Oktoberfest is on Friday.
This Friday.
There's
only, I think, 15 tickets left.
Really?
Yeah.
Too late.
So they're probably sold out, but if they're not, you can go into Malays and buy one.
In carry out.
And you get, for a tenner, you get a beer and a Frankfurter.
Yeah.
And loads of crack.
Yeah,
raffles and draws and karaoke.
Yeah.
And what else? That's it.
And it's in aid of North Tipperary Hospice.
Yeah.
Pretty sound. Yeah. So this is our guest. I'm going to introduce them. I'm going to do a little piece for every guest now.
A monologue,
yeah. So our guest constructs music so impactful that while listening, you will remember those forgotten childhood memories of your earth-covered hands brushing the tops of golden wheat fields like your man in the film Gladiator. Warning, music so impactful you may forget to turn off your immersion or feed your kids. This is Eoin Ryan. He's a member of Seskin Lane, a Savage band. And how are you keeping?
I'm not too bad at all, my friend.
Good.
Thanks for the kind words. Confusing words. The tone was positive though.
Yeah. No, we're trying to confuse is a good way to get into it.
Yeah.
You're with band Seskin Lane. What's like the background behind that? You started Seskin Lane, didn't you?
Yeah, it started by accident. Kind of. I always wanted to record an album in the studio. I wasn't really in a band at the time, so I was thinking I'd do it on my own. Then a couple of songs just sounded like they needed
a bit. Was it
at least a bass player and a drummer, you know?
Yeah.
So I asked a couple of friends, and I recorded an album. And then maybe a few months later, my friend Robbie was trying to organise a night in Whelan's in Dublin, and he asked me would I play, and I said, geez, I don't have a band, or I don't know that many cover versions. Like,
yeah.
Then he was like, why don't you just play your album?
Robbie
live? Yeah, Robbie. Yeah. So I asked a few friends would they play it live, and he said, I'm gonna need a name for the poster, you know. Who's
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus, it's the worst job in the world trying to think of a name for a band.
So you had a kind of thing created before you even had a name? Like?
No, so I just said to my friend Robbie, I said, work away, whatever you want to call it, I don't care, like, you know.
Yeah.
And when I got there, Seskin Lane was written on a poster.
way.
Oh, that's brilliant.
So he just said Seskin Lane to Whelan's. To put it on a poster to promote the event, like.
So was that the first venue you played in, Whelan's?
Yeah, so that's kind of how it came about.
That's mad. First venue you played in was Whelan's, and you didn't even have a name for the.
But I still haven't released that first album, so.
Have you not?
And that's 10 years ago.
Do you think you will?
But I might release it sometime.
Yeah. Well, that's cool.
A few people have it around town. They've heard it.
Well, you released stuff after that.
I still haven't released the album. Yeah, it's mad.
Is it just a thing you don't feel is finished, or just never?
Just never think about.
That's
I go like, no, sorry, I have thought about it. I'd be like, yeah, I must put that up online now.
Yeah.
And I just forget.
Yeah.
So I've been forgetting for 10 years.
But you've released after that, haven't you?
Yeah, I released the second album.
Yeah. That's cool. That's a good idea. Release the second album first.
I didn't mean it.
but cool if it gets to the stage then when you're like, I don't know, when you get to the stage where that's your last album you release is your first album.
Yeah.
Do you remember Pulp?
That'd be mad. I've never heard of that before.
That's a great idea. We'll do that.
People could give out then be like, oh no, I don't like this, I prefer your old stuff, not realising that it is actually your old stuff.
Yeah. That's really cool. It
sounds so dated.
Yeah.
It is dated.
Yeah.
It's ages old.
That's the most organic way I've heard of a band ever being formed. That's so cool.
It's cool. Do you remember Pulp did that? Like they had Different Class became a big hit, and they had all these back albums. They'd been together about 15 years, and started bringing out the old albums after the Different Class.
I didn't know that. So they were around for a good bit before.
15 years before they broke. Yeah.
Who's that? Sorry.
Pulp.
Common People, year 2000?
Yeah.
Oh right.
A few different songs.
There's some cool songs.
Yeah.
Right, so what kind of bands would have like influenced you, or what kind of bands do you like?
I love Pink Floyd. I love Oasis. I love Luke Kelly.
Do you remember as a kid?
Dubliners.
Do you remember as a kid, like
Yes.
early? What's like your first memory of getting a CD or a tape or something?
There's 3 ones that I remember distinctly
As being
when I was
young.
like 3 or 4,
Yeah.
and Mother and Father just let me off into the sitting room, the record player.
Lovely, yeah.
No hassle at all. Like
Yeah.
So I'd be like Jim Reeves.
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember the names of the songs, but I loved Jim Reeves. Come home.
Turn on the
put on
vinyl.
Jim Reeves at the age of 3. Just
That's
to unwind after a long day.
Yeah, stress at the play school, was it?
Yeah, so Jim Reeves, ABBA,
very good,
and the Carpenters.
Oh, very good.
I always remember them.
Yeah.
Wow, it's very interesting bands to be exposed to at 3, like, it's cool. Like.
Yeah, so I mean, I was just poxy to be in a house where there was music.
Good music,
And it was accessible at a very young age. And then my grandmother played the piano.
Did she?
Wow.
Yeah.
She used to actually... Was that the old cinema?
Nora, was it? No, what was your grandmother? Rita.
Was that the old cinema?
That was it, yeah.
Yeah, she used to play the piano for the silent movies in there.
Whoa, that's cool.
It's funny you say that about Rita. My granduncle used to tell me stories about going up to the cinema there when he was a kid. Like he's dead now. He used to have a shop in the square, and he used to tell me about Rita played the piano, and him and his friends used to like not watch the film and start just shouting at Rita and stuff and trying to get in trouble and then get kicked out. That was their thing.
That was their whole
their buzz. Yeah.
That was like even when we were going to the cinema up there, like it'd always be just trying to get kicked out. Like everyone would be always trying to. It's a mission to try and get kicked out of the cinema.
Yeah, we didn't pay any attention to the movie at all. Like.
Rarely. Yeah.
Rita, she played the piano there. That's cool.
Yeah, so that's...
And do you remember her playing the piano out?
Yeah, I would remember a tune that I always have in my head is The Boys at Blue Hill, if you've ever heard that. It's just like it's a hornpipe, yeah.
That's
so like that, I just always have that in my head as well.
And was she from
here?
Oh yeah, Lamb.
This building here.
Yeah.
Park
She
Avenue.
was.
Well, this was actually an alleyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow, that's
like
class.
just behind that wall.
So she was Lamb. Her name was Lamb.
She grew up there.
Wow.
That's class. And
I always thought with Boys at Blue Hill actually, if you were to slow it down, it would actually make a really lovely, like kind of ballady kind of song.
Yeah.
And I don't know why no one has really done it.
Like jigs and reels and polkas.
Yeah.
Slow it down are just as nice as.
It's really lovely melodies.
You know, Elvis is like he ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Yeah.
I saw a thing where somebody said that's like an Irish jig or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they played it. They played what it was. You know.
Because a lot of them would be played. Music is played for someone to dance to.
Yeah.
And a lot of like that kind of thing, you know. Then they speed it up, but if you slow the tunes down, they're just as nice in it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you played in you said that I knew you played in Whelan's, but not as your first gig. Whelan's is like the biggest venue, if not the biggest, venue in Ireland. So to play there for your first time, and you've also played Birds, you played Picnic and the Fenland Town.
Yeah.
So like you played a pretty kind of big crowds. Like what was your most memorable? What was your most memorable moment of? Kind of when you even have to be in those big gigs, but I suppose what was the most memorable gig moment?
Like was this the? We're going to just kind of guide you there. We can cut that bit up.
Set up, yeah.
Was that when you thought like I've arrived? Wasn't it?
I'm here. Here for I am.
Yeah. Like, when did you know you were going to be on this podcast? Is that
you're looking at my balls.
Yeah. Did you always know you were going to reach it? What?
Did I always think I was going to be looking at Bo's travel clock?
No, but when was the kind of what was the most memorable like moment of? It doesn't even have to be those big places, like even just playing in general.
I think like a small fucking hub maybe, like some moment happens and
kind of more personal.
Everyone in the whole room is just
biggest buzz.
Switched on.
Do you remember the biggest buzz? Like what was?
I don't remember specifically, but like I know that there have. Stevie, you know yourself, like playing, and it doesn't have to be a big crowd.
It's just when everyone's buzzing.
Just has to be an interested crowd.
Yeah, just
crowd that's invested. Like
when you know that people listening are either moving their bodies, dancing to it, or sort of they have smiles on their faces. And but I can't remember a specific moment. No, I can't.
Did but you know when you get that, or a lot of musicians get this, I suppose it's in a sense coming down off the crowd, where it's like after playing in front of a gig, like how do you find integrating like back into it? Like a lot of musicians, for example, they'll play in front of a crowd and then they get off, and it's very hard for them to just go home and just go to sleep. It's like, how do you switch off after a gig, or do you find it hard? Some people don't find it.
Oh yeah, you would be wound up, but it'd never be a negative thing.
Yeah.
Just chill out. I'm a bit of a night. I like getting up early in the morning, but I'm a bit of a night owl too.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think it's not a bad thing at all. You know. I think I can sleep fairly well anyway. You know.
Yeah.
It just takes a little bit longer to wind down a bit.
Yeah, because I'm even maybe, I suppose everyone's different, but even like if I'm talking to like 6 people, like, and it's late, like I won't be able to sleep. I just have so much energy after talking to people.
Yeah.
So I can imagine like playing in front of a kind of a crowd would be kind of the same. I don't know. It's just to switch from like being around loads of people to being at home. Like it's a big thing where they say maybe it's obviously it could be just much larger crowds where it's like, example like DJs say they play in front of thousands of people and then they can't go back to the hotel room because like, and obviously that's a much different level, but they find it hard to be kind of to settle down after, like, but I just think everyone's different and it might affect some people.
No, it could. I could imagine though, like I'm just playing like maybe once a week on average.
Yeah.
I'd say if you're playing like 5 nights a week in a row, it might get difficult.
Yeah.
I can see how people have succumbed to, maybe getting into amphetamines, trying to keep themselves alert in a way.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's necessary if you have something to enjoy outside of music.
Yeah.
If you have a variety of things going on in your life. I think if you're just focused on one thing and then the other reality from playing in front of people is is like you're not socialising in any way that's beneficial. Like
I suppose, yeah.
What about writing songs then? That's kind of solitary there, isn't it, compared to like...
Fucking Hoover.
What?
Sorry.
I don't mind the Hoover, that's a good tune.
Sounds like I think that's Darth Vader.
I've started writing songs
while
I'm playing a gig.
Oh, would you? Yeah, cool.
I could be like, just say if I'm on my own
with
an acoustic guitar,
a
break between a song, I never have a set list, like, so I'd be there trying to think of next, so I might be fiddling around on the guitar.
So you could just tip away.
And then I might get something, and then I'll take out the phone, record,
lovely,
do the fiddly bit, and then turn that off, and then go at the rising because I'm going back into playing.
Would you go back to it later then, and finish it off, or leave it there, or what the hell, or what?
I wouldn't force it. Never force
just let
it.
it go. It's
I might be intrigued to finish it off when I get home straight away,
or not,
or I might just fade for years and then come back to it. I don't know.
And what about, like, say your favourite songs that you wrote yourself or whatever? Do you find that they come easier or harder, or what way are they?
I think I think my favourite ones are ones that were nearly just written straight away as soon as you play them. They're just mapped out.
Lovely.
But then obviously you have to go back and edit some words that won't make sense. You're just saying gibberish to
just
bridge a gap between syllables and
do you find that where you might have wrote something and then and you mightn't have finished it, and then you could flick back to it a month, year, whatever, and it just is like what was then so powerful was just like you don't know what was I even on about, like, I never.
Just yesterday, I was like really into something that I was coming up with.
Yeah.
It's all about.
Would you ever get inspired by a Hoover? Like, would you know?
I'm getting inspired by a Hoover.
You're kind of hearing a beat there, right?
Do it the soundtrack to the new Terminator film.
Yeah.
That just reminds you of lift up your feet, will you?
Yeah.
Turn it down is more like it. Trying to watch TV here.
Yeah, Hoovers are very invasive. They kind of come out of nowhere. And they just kind of go to places.
Do you remember like being a teenager or waking up on a Sunday morning and hearing the Hoover beating off your door?
Like the hitting off it, like knocking off it.
I can't stand the noise of Hoovers. Like usually, it's not too bad if I'm not in the same room, but if I'm doing it myself, it's grand. But if someone else is Hoover, I have to leave the room.
I used to be afraid to use it when I was younger. Like I'd turn it on and I'd use it real quick, and then I'd turn it off again. I'd like kind of take a breather, like relax. Like, it's very intense. Like then rather a chainsaw, I think, would be less invasive, because you kind of know a chainsaw is supposed to sound aggressive. You know, like this is a machine that's like chopping down trees. Like you kind of has the right to be kind of angry sounding. Where Hoover is just like, calm down, you're just a Hoover, like, do you know what I mean? You're only cleaning.
You're just sucking up little bits of
you don't want to be so fucking loud about it, like
dust,
like acting like you're doing a bigger job than you are. Like it's gas, like. Kitchen appliances. What do you think of the music scene in Thurles, kind of from where it was to kind of now?
I think it's always been excellent.
Yeah.
I think it's always going to be excellent.
Yeah.
I think it's just people just need to create their own outlet, like you're doing. Like you're doing an excellent job.
Yeah, it's
fair juicy. Just create outlets. You have opportunities to create outlets. I don't do that because I'm lazy. But my mind wanders too much to create things of that. But like, I love the idea of it. I love the idea of putting on events around your town, because we've a great town.
Yeah,
we've so many brilliant things already here and established for the last 100 years or more.
True.
Yeah,
they're established. And they're there to be used. And it's all positive, I think.
Cool.
Do you think it's growing again?
Music here as well.
I think it always has been. It's always been strong. Like, I think when you compare it to other towns, like I'd say the even ratio for the amount of musicians to size is like probably bigger than even the major cities. Do you know what I mean? Like ratio for every 20 people, someone into music. Not 20, but do you know what I mean?
So many.
It's massive.
Performers in all sorts of art and entertainment. It's not even just music.
What do you think about the bold statement these guys said before? Thurles is Ireland's answer to Hollywood.
Yeah. Who are you quoting there? Who are you quoting there?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Will be.
It's only a matter of time, isn't it?
Yeah. It's to be real.
It's better.
Yeah, it's more organic.
Yeah, Hollywood, but more authentic.
Yeah. Poor Hollywood, like.
So like, Jesus, like a few heads getting together and actually organising things. This town will be thriving. I believe that. I don't think you need to have a big massive factory to.
No,
to
you're
do
right.
it.
Yeah.
And if you want a big massive factory, let's
that's
do our own big massive factory.
Exactly,
That's like Hollywood's industry is like. I'm not saying we're Hollywood, but I mean what Hollywood is its industry isn't like, using America for example, Detroit, its industry is making cars. Hollywood's industry is being creative. Like this is how it's the biggest, it's richest, one of the richest places in the world because of music and art. So as you're saying, we don't need a factory. We could actually kind of generate a lot of income to the town and tourism through.
The town is full of skilled people.
That's it. It's skilled.
Highly skilled people.
Yeah.
It's full of it.
And it's about coming together.
And just those highly skilled people maybe taking less time away from career-driven goals and materialistic things. I'm not saying it's a bad thing because I don't think they're bad people for that.
Yeah.
But just a little, and myself included, I could start practicing what I preach, but just take a little less time out of the money goal. And just connecting with people to create things that are going to keep your town going.
Yeah. I also think there is like this, because you can still do your 9 to 5 and work. I think it's people find it hard to make time in the day to pick up the guitar or whatever, and kind of they can end up losing or whatever. But like if you actually do like add up the time someone might spend like, you know, watching any TV show or something, if you just even put like 15 minutes of that into playing, you're already a step closer. Like
if you watch one less episode of whatever you're watching on Netflix and use that time to pick up a guitar, within like a few months you'd be miles better than you thought you'd get when you had no time. Like.
And give yourself to couch out and watch Netflix if you want.
You
have time to do that, but
you can
just give a little bit more time to that. Like
Do you pick up the guitar every day? Do you?
No, actually.
No. Do you not? No. You've kind of arrived.
I feel weird when I haven't played like a guitar or an instrument in like a few days. Like,
really?
There's been times where like I'd be gone away somewhere and I wouldn't be playing music for like maybe 2 or 3 days. And it nearly feels like an addiction. Like I'm just pure. I need to just hit something or play something because I've been playing music since I was about 12, and I've played like every single day. So it's like it's hard to get over that. Like.
I've done something music every single day.
Yeah,
brilliant. Guitar. I'm not disciplined. That.
Oh, sorry. You could do something
I'm
else.
Not
I know what you mean.
I need 20 minutes.
Yeah,
of guitar. You could pick
do
it up if I wanted. But tin whistle will do me as well.
Yeah.
No, just playing a couple of simple polkas and a tin whistle will fulfill me. Like perfect.
What's the most bizarre instrument you ever played?
Oh God. It's a guitar.
Sitar, no?
I tried to play.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
To make some noises out. I think with that is like, I think it's gonna sound nice no matter what you do. Like a sitar. Like not that you need to play it, but like you could just mess with it, just pressing the same string over and over, and it just sounds lovely.
There's some instruments there. It doesn't matter what you do. They sound nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first song you ever wrote?
No. I don't know. I suppose you're all writing things.
But
like
it's not usually the first song that ends up being the one you like. Like a lot of the time, the first song you write is something you're kind of nearly afraid to show people.
I'm sure you have a whole album that you fucking. So this is it. I suppose you.
What was the first creative thing that you remember? Like you remember creating something, or did
I used to
write stories or
suppose when there was a guitar in the house, but I didn't play it. I just used to play one string.
Yes.
Yeah.
Before I went for guitar lessons for a couple of months with that guy called Vincent Dial. I loved that. Wasn't there long, but I loved it.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Ooh, look at you. I think you should show the new hairdo. I think it's quite cool.
Hey.
I think it looks fantastic. Yeah, so it's just one string. Yeah, cool.
One string, and I had a Sony cassette recorder.
Did you?
So I'd be like, ding, writing a little song and that. Then I'd take that tape out and I'd put into
overdub.
A hi-fi system, press play, record, little piano.
Yeah.
You do a harmony behind.
I love it.
Class.
Well, like I had my own studio, but it was like I needed about 10 cassette tapes to make
cool.
one song.
I know, that's cool.
That was probably the first creative thing I did.
What age would you
I'd say I was about 12.
12, yeah.
I don't know exactly, but around that age. I don't think I was in secondary school yet.
Yeah. Cool.
What's the most bizarre dream you can recall?
Oh my god. They're all bizarre, man.
Yeah,
they're bizarre every night.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, but they're cool. They're usually peaceful, like...
Did you ever dream a song?
I don't think I did, no.
You have. He's dreamed a song. The only person I met that's dreamt a song.
40% of music... This isn't the fact for today either. It's just something like... I remember they were saying that 40% of musicians dream about like music. Like they'll hear music in their dreams, but only 18% of non-musicians will dream about music in their dreams. So like majority of dreams, people won't actually hear music, which is really odd for some reason.
That makes sense though.
But if you do play music, it affects it, but not a huge amount, just like 22%. Yeah.
That's mad though. I haven't heard too many people hear music. But yeah, it makes sense though if you're more... What was the dream you had about music?
It was just this traveller guy singing on the side of the street, a small kid, and I just thought that's the best song I've ever heard. And I kind of half remember it, do you know what I mean? I just thought that is amazing.
But if it was an original thing,
original. You
thing. Never heard that piece.
Never heard it before, and I was like, that's amazing.
That's mad.
What I love is like I couldn't explain my dreams to you.
Yeah.
I love that about my dreams. They're just
they're for you,
cool.
like
They're cool.
What I liked about the song was the guy was singing in his own accent. Kind of like the way Dolores O'Riordan used to sing with her own accent. You know what I mean? And it was just really strong accent.
Raw, authentic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Class.
Yeah.
Cool. What was there any kind of instrumentation with it?
No, he was just singing with nothing else.
Imagine
on a street corner.
Cool.
When you told me this before, I could just picture kind of Oliver Twist kind of young flesh flipping a coin.
You
can hear the voice in him. Like,
yeah.
So I'd love to hear what the actual song was if you could.
Yeah. I'm going to try and recreate it.
Class. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a cool little.
Yeah.
But one of the things I know about music though is that inspiration can come from like anywhere. Like you could have a dream where you can do this or whatever. Like there was a guy before who took a picture of like a lot of birds on like telephone wires.
Yes.
And then after taking it, he realised that kind of looks like sheet music, and then used it to make a melody and build a song on top of that. Because there happened to be his 5 lines with the birds. Like.
Oh no way! That's cool.
And like just little things like that, like music, it's hard to be wrong with music. Technically, you're always just like dissonant.
What's that?
Or tension, like it's like.
Yeah. It can definitely be inspired from anywhere. Do you know what's that Led Zeppelin tune? It's like
Immigrant Song.
Apparently, he was just cutting up a sandwich. Or he was cutting up a rasher or something, and he accidentally cut his finger, and he did it, and he made that scream. And apparently, what's his name? Was it Robert Plant did it, and Jimmy Page was there or something, and was just like, do that again. He was like, my finger or something. But it's hard to know. It could be just one of those rumors. But I thought it was the coolest story ever. if it wasn't true, it was creative. Whoever thought of it.
Do you think your songs get better as time goes by, like, as in, or are they just different, or what way is it, like?
I don't know. I kind of let go of Monster.
Don't care, yeah.
I'm kind of.
One thing I noticed, like,
I'm delighted to hear what other people do.
Yeah, I think they get better.
Yeah, I wrote a few things about your songs.
But like, I think like other artists, say painters or whatever, as they get older, like you can see their stuff is getting better. You know what I mean?
What you mean, like in the eye of the beholder kind of thing, your perception of it.
Quality is better. Every kind of like, even if you look at the Simpsons, the cartoon.
Are you talking about as you get older?
Yeah, you get better at stuff. Yeah.
Or looking back on stuff you've written before.
Bit of both, actually. A bit of distance sometimes make it even look more interesting as well, doesn't it? Because it's part of its time as well.
I get what you're saying, but I think nearly in a music point, it's nearly if you're talking about like the kind of recording it, quality wise, they get better.
Oh, they do.
You can draw like same way every music. I suppose.
But there's something funny as well. Like you'd say David Bowie, right? With like Ziggy Stardust and all that. Oh, that's amazing, all that.
Yeah.
And I'm sure maybe he's better at the craft as he was older and stuff. But we didn't just appreciate it as much. You know what I mean? Or I don't know what it is. There's some. But with other acts, you do kind of keep with them. You know what I mean? Like,
I think what happens with a lot of musicians as well, I think, is like, because like sometimes like when you're writing for ages, you can feel you're stuck in a rut. So you look into like new techniques or new genres. You look at new different things. So like I think that's why a lot of the time where like someone might get better at the craft, but the fans mightn't necessarily appreciate it because it's like this person could be sick to death of playing this genre they've played for years, and then they discover this cool sound on a synth, or they're like, oh, I want to use this, but straight away people are like, oh, you're gone too synthy, I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you can get more technical, but not necessarily look like you're getting more technical as well. Like.
Yeah.
Well, the one person I do like is said Damon Albarn. The way he just keeps going and keeps going and keeps going.
Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
And like I went over to see him in Brighton there last year, or the year before, with the Gorillaz tour, and he was just brilliant. Like all the songs were brilliant. Everyone was up, and he ran it like it was. To me, it reminded me of the school concert. Like he wasn't the front man all the time. He just, you could see he thought that guy was right good, or he'd like your song and he'd let you sing it up. And it was,
he's a cool way about it.
Brilliant. To me, it's all. He's very creative, like, and even the graphics. He just saw the guys were good animators,
and you can tell he's having fun with it.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not. I think it's not taking yourself too seriously.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Or too seriously.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like sometimes if you are like you really want to get it right.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but I don't think people should tie themselves into knots.
I think he goes
over any craft.
He goes to work every day as well, like kind of 9 to 5, and somewhere in Ladbroke Grove, and just writes stuff and creates stuff, and he's just banging it out, like, and it's all cool. Like you can tell it's all stuff he likes himself.
Yeah, I think some people have managed to some people don't do a really good job of not getting lost of the, because like, you know, if you just say you put out songs and then this one song gets a hit, like a lot of people will easily be influenced to try and kind of be like, oh, that's the one people like, and now I kind of have to do that. So some people do a really good job at staying with their creativity and not getting influenced by what was perceived, what was like before. If you get me,
I think it'll fall into place if it's meant to fall into place.
It's natural. Yeah.
I don't have any problem with people that do force themselves into that world.
Yeah.
Because maybe
that's their thing.
maybe they need to do something with their lives that they need to get going.
Yeah.
But like, I think if you're in an okay place before you stumble across the music scene or whatever,
just let it stay going.
Yeah, just let it happen, whatever way it happens. And if you want to play a certain show, play a certain show. And if you want to write a certain song, write a certain song.
Yeah.
There does seem to be more kind of artists now who are like kind of, for ages, like pop music was kind of categorized by like kind of people who you felt were kind of fake artists or didn't really feel the passion.
Yeah.
But like I've noticed a lot of even pop music now, there seems to be more of that kind of, you know, you'd watch a video of someone and you're like, okay, this person just seems like a genuine normal person who happened to get famous.
Yeah.
I think a great example of that is whether you like the song or not. Like, I don't particularly like it, but like, you know, Old Town Road.
Yeah.
The guy who wrote that, like, he just kind of just started as like a meme on an app.
Yeah, he's
and
smart.
he went from that to being
guy.
like the longest number one in history.
Yeah.
Like 20 weeks.
Longer
than
than Beatles, longer than anyone.
and like when you see him in interviews, like he was on like some show in England, like, and it's like he was being interviewed, and when they were done, he didn't know to wait until they had like kind of basically signed him off and like kind of gone to break. So while they were talking like about it after the interview, he got up and walked past the camera, and they had to tell him to sit back down. So he's just like clearly just a normal,
how new he's
like
in
20-year-old who happened to get famous, like, and all that genuine kind of personality seems to be cropping up more in.
Yeah, I think authenticity is just it's the new trend. Like it's actually like what anyone that's getting successful now is actually just being themselves, and it's not, you know, how they're done up or made to look by albums, by different labels and stuff like that. Instagram are actually doing something really interesting. They just announced the other day. Instagram are actually so they removed in Ireland Instagram now. In Ireland, Australia and New Zealand, you can't see how many people like to post on Instagram.
Yeah.
They came out and started to do this a good few months ago, and they said they were doing it because for mental health, that people wouldn't judge people's. You know, having likes was affect people's mental health, which is correct, but that's not why Instagram are doing it. They had another tactic which is really cool as well, but they didn't want. They wanted to play the mental health card to look good.
Yeah.
But their other tactic is why they're actually doing it is because they've figured out that, and they've only come out and said this the other day, that people will be more creative when they're not inspired by likes. So for them to get more creative contact for the platform, they're removing likes.
Oh wow!
And then they said it was a mental health thing, just to double up on like, oh, it's just like genius. Like you have to give it to them. But like, well, I thought that was really interesting that Instagram have even seen that there's a lot less creative content because people are putting up stuff trying to get likes rather than being themselves. Like, so there's definitely a lot of like big changes going on for people to be more authentic. And
I think don't worry about like having this online presence.
Yeah.
And you do. Everyone falls into it. You're like,
yeah.
How do we get loads and loads of people to listen to what we're doing?
Yeah.
Just try this guy. He can do social media stuff. And
yeah.
I think you kind of need to be into it, like, you know. But if you love doing social media, do that as well.
Yeah, that's another thing, isn't it? Yeah.
You know, enjoy it. That's their thing. But some people, it's not their thing.
And then they seem to get caught up on like
not having to do it. And then they're forgetting to just write a song, like, play it with your friends.
Yeah,
What's your favourite colour? Do you have a favourite colour?
I think it's blue. But
no way.
I don't know.
Wait, what's yours? We're three of us are blue.
Mine blue, yeah.
Oh fuck. Wait,
I don't know whether I've convinced myself at a young age.
I always
like colour blue just because some of it.
Kid it was blue, so I've stuck with it. But
mine was red when I was younger.
I might have it was all my life was blue, but I must have to rethink this situation. It might become green. It might become green.
Mine changes like.
I'll
probably hate blue tomorrow. Like.
I like blue, but also I'm quite fond of yellow as well.
I'm not against yellow.
Only someone who has something against yellow would say that. Oh no! The only reason you'd say that is if you had like
major issues like
yellow.
No, blue. I know it's that killer says blue is a good.
What's your favourite number?
Oh shit!
I don't know that one.
You must have a life number or a number
GPS number.
One that keeps reappearing in your life.
No.
That's kind of going number.
This is your phone number, yeah.
Mine's all just clouds and all.
Do you ever actually do that thing where like you try think of a number and say this is going to appear? Like you just if you think of different numbers, they will actually appear because you're looking for like confirmation bias. So it's like you can change that number. So like if you're seeing the same number everywhere and you just decide, no, I'm going to see 7 everywhere now, you start seeing 7 because you're not going to notice all the times you don't.
Wow.
Do you have a favourite shape? Do any of you have a favourite shape? I think I have a favourite shape. No, I don't.
I usually just say rhombus because people aren't expecting it. Like I don't have a favourite shape.
What, Joe? Yes. What inspired you outside of like? So what, like, not who inspired you, but what inspired you? Like, do you like in Tasty Rainbow Rain? It sounds like really like inspired by nature. Well, maybe like the references to
I
nature.
wrote around the time my son was born.
With that song,
that was just like. But it's not, I wouldn't say any of my songs are directly connected to anyone.
Yeah.
Anything.
But more of a time.
I think whatever.
Yeah.
I was in a good.
You're just kind of writing from a feeling.
I was in good form, kind of. It was just a lovely.
Like, so you never kind of. Would you ever be inspired by something like directly, like, visually? Like, would you like just be in the car and you see something and then?
Yeah. Just like characters walking around and. Just thinking, who lives in that house? I've driven by it about 1,000 times. Who lives there?
Yeah.
Then I've already created a family that lives in there.
Oh, that's
in
great.
my head.
Wow.
That's cool.
So I don't know, and then just even as simple as a cloud in the sky that looks like a dog or something.
Yeah.
I can relate to that though, like, 'cause a lot of the time I find it hard to kind of like if someone's like, oh, write a song about this. It's like I find that difficult. Where it's like the whole thing of creating that story, then it's much easier to come up with lyrics because like you have a whole backstory for this family that lives in this house, like, so you can like, oh, what are they doing? Like, what day of the week was it? What was it? You know, there's so many questions, things you could add in. Like,
I love, like, it's like Paul McCartney said that. It's like he just creates these little stories and they're fun little stories. You know, and they're usually like innocent little kind of character style stories.
Yeah. In Tasty Rainbow Rain, you see, I was looking at someone. I was actually trying to I was listening to some of the songs and I was just like trying to imagine how I felt with them. But I'm not even going to tell you what I felt with this one because the comment just described it better. Someone commented on it. Someone commented on it. And in the video, it's like just like. I couldn't explain, but the three people are dancing. They're dancing like slowly but fast. Like they're dancing real subtle, but kind of like not happy but cheerful or something.
It's like they're rehearsing a step or something.
Yeah. They're like they don't look like they're fully in the dance, but kind of getting there or something. And someone commented, a guy called Aidan Healy commented, "Great song. This reminds me of Supermax staff at 4 a.m. of a Saturday night when everyone is locked outside freezing and they're all inside celebrating the night is over." And I was like, wow, well done. Like, that's just the most accurate. And when you watch it, I was like, because the three of them are kind of like, they're not like smiling around, they're dancing, but they're like also kind of not smiling. It was the most accurate comment ever.
It's like one of the guys is showing them the step or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good. Wide Open Space, that's your newest one, isn't it?
That's the least.
I absolutely love that tune. Like, it's like, I don't know, that tune reminds me of like when I was listening to Wide Open Space and Strawberry Medicine, right? See, like, you listen to one, you can listen to the other after. It's like Wide Open Space is just like if you can imagine, like, if you were in a movie or something in your life was like real tragic happened, but you sorted it out. I could imagine hearing Wide Open Space just after that happened. And you say if it was in a movie, I could picture, so just in that part of the scene where they got it all sorted out, then the credits would roll and there'd be Strawberry Medicine, and I could just picture it perfectly. I was like, I think you could actually write, like, all your songs could play in a movie, like, in different parts.
Should make the movie now, man.
Yeah,
I really love it.
I'd love to. If I had the money and the technology, I'd love to make it. But maybe I'd just make a crap movie going around town.
That's the shit.
I think that's cool, though.
Authenticity.
I think you should be allowed to make crap movies.
But I think with the people in town as well, like, there's enough people who've done like either like a film course in Templemore or wherever, like, and they're interested in filming and stuff. It's like between like the bands in town and like those people, it would be cool to get like a community film.
You could do like an EastEnders, a Thurles kind
of. But you know, like, if you made a film and all the music was like locally produced, like, so the soundtrack was an original soundtrack. Like from people in Thurles,
where it's all just fully Thurles. That'd be very something like the Ireland. It's so Thurles that we won't even let anyone outside Thurles watch it. Like,
just show it down at the park on a screen. Like.
You're right though. We definitely do have as you said, like, even the media course in Templemore. Like, that could be something that you could get onto them and be like, do you want to do it as a project? You work with them to do something like that.
Yeah, it'd be cool to do things like that. Yeah.
I think my favourite song, Seskin Lane song, is, I think I have the name right, Blood from a Stone.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, for ages, every single day I just had to put that song on. I was just pure hooked on it.
Oh, so you've heard that? Yeah, that's on the first album. So.
Oh, I
shouldn't have heard it.
I saw it.
I hope it wasn't a pirate copy.
It was on YouTube. I found it.
Hey.
I hope
not
you
like
keep
a
it
good
yourself.
old pirate copy. Yeah. That's probably the demo, actually. That's probably not even the finished.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Finished article. I'll give you the finished article though. I'll just give it to people for free for the crack.
Oh, I'd love to hear it.
Privately.
Although at the same time, I would.
Can I get an album there?
At the same time, I would like to hear you bring out loads more albums and then just wait till that's kind of your last. Be interesting.
No, we'll do that, Kieran. That's a great idea. We'll go with that. That's stored.
10% of the money made up.
Or with Strawberry Medicine as well, like one thing I'm sure you're aware of is like how popular that song is among like local people among town.
Oh yeah.
And like, is it weird for like as a local band the idea that like if other local bands like when Smallfish are playing a gig, you would not believe how often people request like Strawberry Medicine. So it's really cool, like from our point of view, it's really cool to like that. We know a local band can get to the point where like people are asking other local bands to play their songs.
That's brilliant, isn't it?
It's funny, yeah.
That's actually really.
Have you been in a place where somebody does a cover of it?
Yeah.
That's cool, isn't it?
It's very popular.
Unexpectedly, like.
Yeah, I was in Hayes one day because the pub was closed, so I went up to Hayes for our late drink. Yeah. And Mar was playing it and people were out dancing. I was like,
oh, he's playing it on the stereo, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool though, yeah.
It's a buzz, isn't it? But then seeing other bands playing it, I've seen other bands playing it.
Yeah, it's great, yeah.
But have they played it while you were there? I wonder would they be kind of more...
I have heard a couple of people playing it in town, yeah.
Well, it's nice, isn't it?
It is cool, yeah.
There's would you bet... Sorry, go on.
It's weird though as well.
Yeah,
like,
sure, yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah,
it's cool. Yeah.
What's that U2 song where they shoot a song on top of a building and it's fucking everyone's down?
Or Street 709,
is it?
Yeah.
Or yeah. If a sponsorship proposal comes up where we need a band to play up on top of a roof and we need to get like 2,000 people just so we can get funding for the podcast, would you do it?
Oh yeah.
I get like doing that.
I suppose if only they had a song that would suit playing on a wide open space like a roof.
Oh shit. yeah. You could do it somewhere.
That would be brilliant.
Because there's a building in town that we're gonna like trying to do a proposal, and I can say it now, but me and John were talking about
the old library.
Dude, that
flat roof. You need a flat roof anyway.
The old library.
We won't be able to set a kid up on that anyway.
And the most travel.
Each time you hit the kick drum, it just slowly edge forward.
We need our friend here to design
a building with
perfect
a flat roof.
building there.
With a little parapet around it, you can kind of graffiti and shit.
But wouldn't a permanent kind of... A friend of mine, I can't remember who was saying it the other day actually, but it's a good idea. I must find out who it was so I can reference him or her. But like, you know, the way they're kind of changing the square up a bit.
Yeah.
To have a permanent kind of
bandstand.
Yeah, something
class,
like
even up a bit on a height, like
studio.
You could have a quartet there one night.
Lovely.
You could have like another night. You could have a fucking reenactment of a play or something.
Yeah. If they had that stage, and even if they had a space for a music pit, so you could do proper kind of outdoor, proper big production, like it'd be unreal.
Yeah, and like they were saying, I can't remember who it was, but they were saying as well, like, you know, like if bands or theatre companies could book that place with whoever, whatever body was running it, that you could have, it's open to book for people in Germany.
Whoever wants it.
It's on a good website.
Down the bottom of the square is nearly like that, isn't it?
That kind of area,
Square.
Someone give us money. Give us money. Someone's not using money.
No, we need bodies. Everyone, we go in town and clean up the place. We'll all wear high vis jackets. Be right crack.
Like drumming circle thing. When's the next drumming circle?
Supposed to be the 18th, but we're gonna do it on.
Is the 18th not Friday?
No, it is. Sorry, the day after the 19th, but the next week after that. What's the Saturday after that? Because they're doing the Halloween Fest, and we're going to do the drum circle on that day for Halloween Fest in the square. That'll be good crack. You're playing the Source, aren't you? What day are you playing the Source?
The winter solstice.
21st, isn't it?
Oh,
yeah.
Celebrate the old winter solstice.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll buy tickets.
That's our next show. We're recording at the moment now.
Are you? Have you any plans? Like, you obviously don't have set dates, do you?
No plans. Just record away.
Yeah.
I like that.
It might get a little bit too flighty though.
Yeah.
Really? Like 20-minute long songs. We have to try and cut that out a little bit.
No way.
But it's nice, you know. Like, I think we've been doing kind of soft songs the last couple of songs, so to try and do something heavy and
keep it mixed, like.
Yeah.
Where are you recording that?
But that never works out though. It's like in your head, yeah, I can hear this album, and then
Yeah.
so it could or it
You
might or might not.
You could have 10 songs you think are perfect for the album, and then by the time you finish the album, you've written 2 more that were better than some of the ones you were going to use.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, scrap those ones.
You never dealt with kind of all the bullshit label shit like that. No, never went near any of that.
We're not good enough, Kieran.
I don't know about that.
You were with
I'm
Ricus,
interested
were you?
anyway.
We were Ricus or anything for a while.
Yeah,
no?
with Rika's Elvira Butler from
Yeah,
town.
she's
Yeah,
brilliant.
we released 2 singles with her.
Did Aslan and
But we were just not. We
yeah.
weren't like a good band for her to be trying to release stuff with.
Okay, yeah.
That was a different band though, called The Rumours.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was because I came across them and I was looking at your Facebook page and I was only listening to them this morning actually.
Yeah, like we were just too laid back for someone that wanted to push
Like
us
a
on.
business,
Yeah, turn you into a can of soup.
So I wouldn't blame anyone. It's just we're all.
Yeah.
She was chilled out enough to kind of
Yeah.
go,
You're grand.
you're not really into this. So.
Yeah,
Did you ever see
There was
the?
never any big deal about it.
Yeah.
Did you ever see the Netflix series, The Defiant Ones? It's like 4-part episode.
Oh.
Best music documentary ever
Go
created.
on.
It's about it starts off. It's about Jimmy. It switches between. It's just about like Interscope Records essentially, but it switches between Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre. 'Cause they both came together and sold Apple Beats,
Oh, I
kind
remember
of
that.
billionaires. But the whole thing is just about them becoming under parts. Like when Dr. Dre started as a producer and Jimmy Iovine, like he was working with like Pinkwood Floyd. What did I actually? Fleetwood Mac. He was working with
Floyd. It's a good name.
Yeah, just hey, remember that now.
Pinkwood Floyd.
Pinkwood Floyd. That's
It wasn't even Pink Wood. We were just filling in the wood.
He worked with both of them.
yeah.
Mashing together Pink Floyd, Fleetwood Mac would be
Pinkwood Floyd. Okay.
But what? Yeah,
That's the name of the new album, the one that's kind of a bit heavier.
WOULD,
Yeah.
just to be a bit cryptic. You know?
Yeah, but the documentaries, there's a part in it where they're talking about it's a really old like black and white recording in the 60s, and I can't remember who it was, but it was a female singer. And like the record labels go in and they're just like they're having a meeting about her, and she says something and they like kind of shut her up, and they're just like they literally say. They don't say shut up, but they say it in a really kind of backwards way, like as in like you're not part of this conversation, even though the conversation was about her as a musician. And they make a comment about her being like another can of soup, and they just start laughing. Most bizarre thing ever. And it's just about music and how it was then.
What's
Like, that
it
shit's all gone out the window.
What's it called again?
The Defiant Ones. It's 4-part series, best series about music ever, I think. Biggest like musicians are in it, Trent Reznor or Bruce Springsteen, like biggest musicians doing interviews in it, but it's
Have you seen the one about the backing singers? Is it 10 Feet from Fame or 10 Feet from Stardom or something? It's all about all these best bands and everything. Just the backing singers that are going like whatever. It's
Well, like
brilliant.
backing singers for Pink Floyd,
like-
Rolling Stones.
Yeah, exactly. Rolling Stones
Yeah.
backing singers.
what it was
that's
like for them, kind of.
Sure,
Yeah,
one
just
of
their
the back-
life. Yeah.
One of the backing singers for Pink Floyd actually
They're
had
brilliant.
an awful time for like trying to get money for something. Do you ever hear one of
Thurles
their songs,
tried,
"The Great
yeah.
Gig in the Sky"? It's basically
Yeah.
the lyrics for the whole song is basically just this ad lib kind of. I can't remember. They phrased it really strangely. It was like they asked her to like kind of scream along to the music, but like melodically scream, and she just came up with it on the spot. But she wasn't credited as a writer for that song for years. She got no royalties from it. It was just like a Pink Floyd song, and it took her ages to actually get the royalties because like she wrote that on the spot. It was her melody. So
Wow.
like I think she gets paid for it now, but like
She missed out on an awful. Dark Side of the Moon has been on the US Billboard charts for the last few decades. Now.
It still is, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
That's insane.
yeah.
top 10 selling albums of all
And if you
time.
haven't heard Great Gig in the Sky, listen to it. It's
I haven't heard that one,
unbelievable
actually.
It's an
song.
unbelievable album, yeah, Dark Side of the Moon.
That's I know. It's The Wall that can be played back to
No,
back.
it's Dark
No,
Side
Dark
of the
Side
Moon
of
the
is,
With the Wizard of Oz, is it?
Yeah.
That was like.
Oh no, I meant like with The Wall. It's like if the end of the last song is it ends where the first song starts, so you can play it on a loop.
Oh right, okay.
Because the whole idea was Pink Floyd wanted to show it was like a repeated cycle of like that person, because it's about this person who like I think it's like they sheltered themselves off from.
I went to see the
That's
show
mad.
at Roger
No
Waters'
way.
The Wall.
I'd love to go.
I don't think I'd ever see it as good as it ever again.
Oh, imagine creating something that good that you get people saying I'm never going to see it as good as that.
like
Like that's
he built a fucking wall.
Yeah, I heard
on
about
the
it.
stage, and then a plane crashes into it.
Yeah, it's like isn't there
And then
like
they start building it back up again as the show goes on. And
Well,
that's cool, but like
Yeah, no.
then when the wall is built, there's all these 3D effects on the wall.
whoa.
Or Pink Floyd have really interesting things to say, because like you were saying about the way record producers used to handle things. I can't remember what song it's in now, but one of my favourite Pink Floyd lyrics is like they're talking to like a record producer, and he's like, "By the way, which one's pink?" Just the idea that like
a cigar,
the idea that they actually believe like that one of the guys was called Pink Floyd. Like.
Your music is fantastic. That is really what I think. Oh, and by the way, which one is pink?
Yeah.
Oh wait. Yeah. That's actually gas.
Great lyrics.
Are you a fact for today? Or a fact for the week?
It's,
today's a week, not a day.
Yeah, it's kind of on the topic of like people like original lyrics of songs and like the way songs have changed. But I might have told you this one before, but it's like, do you know the song Maniac, or most people know Maniac 2000? Like,
yeah.
Michael, what's his name? Can't remember his surname now.
Mark McCabe, is it?
No, the original, like the very first song, the one when it was in Flashdance. Like, basically, he had written the song originally. He'd watched, I think it was the film Maniac, and it was like a horror film, and he wanted to write a horror song. So the original lyrics to that song were actually, "He's a maniac, that's for sure. He'll kill your cat and nail it to your door." But then his wife accidentally included it in like she was sending songs to soundtrack for Flashdance. And your man's record producer convinced him to change the lyrics to suit the song or the film better. So he changed it to the lyrics everyone knows today. And it became a massive hit. But like originally it could have been a completely different song with this psychopath. Like,
wait, what was it? You're a cat.
He's a maniac. That's for sure. He'll kill your cat and nail it to your door. And like I've googled that fact about I don't know how many times, because every time I tell the story I don't believe it. I have to double check.
That's mad.
And can you get a version with that in it now?
I'm not sure if we ever recorded it, but
maybe now you should do it.
What bands do you like now, or artists, or what in music, like any current kind of stuff?
Not really, no. That's
Seskin Lane, you're a big fan of Seskin Lane.
No, that's because there's nothing.
I know.
It's just I'm not listening.
I know what you mean.
There's a lot.
I like. I'm listening. I like just going to a trad session now. It's lovely. I like that now.
Yeah.
And if I can hear a tune that's saved like from 500 years or something like that.
Yeah.
Like my cousin Caught is studying like songs that as old back as you can go.
She told me she was studying what's it called again, the course. It's called. What's her thing?
I don't know the exact name, but
it's
all about culture and stuff and all that kind of thing, isn't it? Like.
But just like I just love. I'm kind of going seeing what's the oldest song.
Folklore, folklore and all that kind of stuff. She's
really like Celtic mythology and stuff.
All that kind of thing, isn't it? She told me about, but I can't remember what the name of it is.
Is that down? Where is that? There's a course in Cork.
I think she's researching and stuff, isn't she?
Yeah. There's a mythology course down in Cork that a few people I know did in someone's class. Like, are you related to them out in Jim in the Mills?
Yeah, he's an uncle of mine, yeah.
Oh, right.
I didn't know that, and like it's weird. The way I ended up finding out was like we were down in the Monks, and you were asked to sing a song, and you got up to sing Darren and Girl from Clare. But the only time I'd ever heard that song was Jim singing it, and it was like as soon as you sang that song, it was like me. I can't remember who. I think Izzy was there at the time. She didn't know I related to Jim either. Like, and just all of us at the same time were just like, oh my god, he's like one of those rides. Like, just because of that song, we knew nobody else really sang that song other than you'd hear it in the middles, but that was it. Like, so it's bad. Like.
Yeah, because someone asked me to play, and I was like, oh, jeez, I hope he doesn't walk in now and steal his song. When really he'd be probably just like, oh god, I've sang it so many times, please. Yeah. But it's a gorgeous song though.
Oh, it's a lovely song.
Like that man Percy French.
Yeah, brilliant.
I would have heard him as well. Like my grandmother would have been.
Would you? She would have played all the
music. Like And there's a few other songs. There's a song called "Phil the Fluter's Ball."
I remember that. And you're right there, Michael. You're right.
Stories are amazing.
Yeah. Well, how cool to craft a song that's that. That's just not any stuff that came. You had to put a bit of work into making that so structured.
Percy French was brilliant,
wasn't he?
And like, are you there? Right there, Michael.
Are you right?
Stories of that.
And did you hear that they sued him? CIE, and he was supposed to go up to the court case. You know that story, you know?
Yeah.
And he was. They were suing him for like slander or whatever because he wrote about the trains being late and how shit they were. And he was late going into the trial or whatever because the train was delayed and he got let off because they were shit.
Because his case was proven within his absence.
Yes, that's mad.
Yeah.
But yeah, the
that's
wit,
a brilliant song.
The wit out of those people back. that's like the 1700s.
I think part of that as well is because like nowadays it's like when you're writing a song, it's like you have to write the melody, you have to write the chords, you have to write the lyrics and all that. Whereas like back then it was like you had all of those tunes for songs from like collected by like the harp collectors. Like you basically take, like you said, like a
Edmund Bunton. Yeah, Edward or Edmund Bunton, the guy.
Yeah, or the Carolins.
All them old harp tunes, like, because it was part of. It was like.
It was the only way they.
It was like research for his college course or whatever.
True.
And he was, and little did they know like what he was unearthing, you know.
Wasn't there more of a thing back then as well, of building on songs rather than like you don't really write your own song. It's just
saluting people on the street.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have a nervous ticker.
But it's okay. If you have a drink, it's okay. You can pick up the bag there.
Pretending to have a twitch. Right, go on then.
But wasn't there more of a thing like that? You didn't really have to write your own song as such. It was more they evolved. Like, I take your song.
Well, none of us are writing songs really. I'm not like thinking that I've written all these like they're just in my record collection.
I remember going
whatever I've listened to is what I've sang and recorded myself. Is really amalgamation
of subconscious
whatever I've heard.
Where do you think the first song came from?
The first song ever?
Yeah.
Me.
That's a good enough answer.
I don't know. I think it would have been just as basic as maybe a mother trying to get her baby to stop crying.
That's actually really fucking interesting.
Soothing
that's
her
it.
baby.
What about the rhythm of the heartbeat?
Or even going to war.
Do you actually
chant? That's something to look into.
A chant, a call, like come on.
There's
let's go.
I've heard the kind of war ones or the dancing to first ever techno and shit. I've never heard anyone or seen anything about maybe the mother just making certain harmonies to make the baby go to sleep. Like that's really interesting.
No, I'd say the first tune was Hush.
Just pure. That's really interesting.
There's a really good documentary called The Rhythm of Life. Have you seen that with Steve Martin, who used to produce the Beatles? And his whole thing is like that. There's
George Martin.
Sorry, George Martin. But
Steve Martin, the comedian.
His thing is there's trees that make disco beats, and there's your heartbeats. When you're at your happy or whatever is 120 beats per minute, so it's the disco beat or whatever, same as Staying Alive, you know what I mean, all this kind of thing. So you basically all the beats and all the music are already in nature, and that's why we
it does come from nature.
But what's really weird is that it's kind of the way humans perceive music hasn't been found in like any other animals. Like even like when you think of like I'll explain more what I mean. Like you hear a bird whistle a melody.
Yeah.
You can get a bird to recognize a melody, but if it's like if you were to sing Twinkle Twinkle, right?
Yeah.
And I had no capo on the guitar, and suddenly I put a capo on too. You can change that melody and go up the 2 frets on the capo, and you can sing in that new key.
Yeah.
Birds can't understand that. If you show a bird like a song moved up like 5 steps, they'll think it's a completely new melody. You'll have to retrain it. And it's like it's really weird. Like
have
there's so many. No, I was watching a documentary about music the other day.
I'm just picturing him in his room. Go on. Keep with me here.
Just play it up.
I have no pets. I have no plans to have pets.
My dogs
not like pets.
My dogs were into music, man.
Sorry, what were you saying?
My dogs were into music.
Really? What kind of music?
Anything, like it was good music. My mother was singing in the kitchen to them, and they went. They were critical, like, you know.
It's like animals can perceive music, but it's like they found like very few different animals that can actually like properly understand it. Like even like finding animals that can dance to a beat and change the beat depending. Like there was like some dancing bird as well, and they had to double check. Like they gave it different tempos, and they was able to keep with different tempos.
Yeah.
But like trying to find that in the animal world is really rare. Like it's like they'll be able to like keep a beat, or they might be able to like hit a drum.
Yeah.
But trying to create music the way we do is uniquely human. Like, well, so far from evidence. Like,
they just haven't gotten as bored as we are.
Yeah, I reckon they don't
we leave it too easy.
They're like feed the young.
Teach the young. Who like we'll feed the kids tomorrow, but we have to make some music.
The birds have to fly like miles and miles just to get to some other countries. Like they have no time to.
I just called my house. There's loads of bird food there.
Have you birds?
They're not ours, but the birds would be around like.
They're wild, yeah. You borrowed them.
Is that going to be your thing like just every week? Have you birds?
Well, we have a tree, so
Okay, yeah.
you know, tree has birds. We have a tree. Some with tree. I don't know who owns a tree really. Yeah, I was going to say between the tree actually, I've been like an interesting proposition with the tree as people who can create music, whether in your dreams or in your books. Help me. I want to change a culture. Do you know the elevation culture? Do you know the elevator scene? Elevator music.
Oh yeah.
I think we should rewrite elevator music. It's about time. Like how long? Like elevator music's been the same for a while now.
Oh, I love that. It's called. There's a name on it.
Music.
Music. That's it. Yeah.
What is it actually?
Yeah, it's like, but it's like it's the whole thing of I love hearing, I love hearing elevator music versions of like popular songs. It's like, do you know, in the video for Monkey Wrench by Foo Fighters, at the start, you can hear like an elevator music version of their other song Big Me, and it's just like do 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 do, and it just makes it sound. I love like 8-bit and that kind of stuff.
It's funny. I think you need elevator.
I wonder though what it was about though, because like
elevator music. I know it's about.
do you know the history of it?
Yeah. It was like before. Yeah, it was before Otis. I think it was Otis company. They used to have lifts in New York, right? And the lifts were worked with ropes, and every so often the rope would snap and people would plunge to their death. So people were terrified of lifts, right? So they're absolutely terrified until Otis came up with the self-locking lift, right? And to calm people down, they put on the music because they were still flipping terrified.
Because it was self-locking.
Yeah, like so if the rope snapped, it would actually lock. That's how it would get jammed.
Okay.
Whereas before that,
I'm not the tape for them.
There's Luke from our last episode. Sorry.
Oh, Luke.
Right, what are you saying?
Before that, they were terrified. These people used to be getting killed in elevators all the time, and that's what the music's about, just to calm them down.
Whoa.
Because they were actually sure they were going to die. And it was that's where that came from.
You actually know the name of it. What's that name of the company?
Otis, yeah.
Wow, that's so interesting. I can't believe you knew that. Like, I'm actually blown away that you knew that. It's like, but do you think, you know, in Irish rail trains, I think people have a fear. I have a fear as well that they're getting stuck in them. So what they did is they cover them in wallpaper that looks like fields with sheep. You see them in the bathrooms. It's like in the bathrooms, it's just covered in wallpaper. It's like fields and sheep.
Nowadays, is it?
Yeah, because so then you're sitting there like, and what's supposed to make you comfort is just like, to me, like, if I'm looking at this, like just still sheep, I'm going to be a lot more freaked out than locked in here. Like.
Is that kind of like there are automatic doors in them or whatever?
Yeah.
I'd be afraid the door to open. Like you can't. Are these kind of?
I'm afraid of it locked. Huh? Yeah, most people. That's fine.
Somebody told me.
A
lady told me a story. A problem she had with one of those, those like public toilet kind of things or whatever. And she said like, okay, so where you put the money in, you go into those public toilets, the door open and closes, all that. So her friend went in, put in the money, went used the toilet, or was open, so she just walked in without paying. No. Oh man. So she went to the toilet, the door opened, the thing started washing itself, and while she was inside it.
Yeah. Do you know, that's funny, our friend only told us a story the other day that, because there was rumours about this kind of monster kind of public bathroom that would wash itself, and people always wondered how. And the lads, like, they weren't that young, they were probably like 20, like they weren't that young, they weren't that, they were stupid, but they weren't that stupid, like. But they thought that how that washed itself is that the floor would open and this like whole contraption and they got locked in there. And they were only telling us this the other day, they got locked in there and then they were like, oh shit, then they remembered, they were like, it's gonna clean itself. So the three were all on top of the toilet thinking the floor was going up. And then they started squirting out like shitty water guns of water, and they were like, oh.
It's grand.
Yeah.
At least they know it works.
Yeah, getting locked inside public places.
Yeah.
Nah.
So how do we get into music?
Music. Do you know why most music is 4/4? Is that like when I found out it's pure obvious? Like I thought it'd be something really deep, and it was just we have 2 feet, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and because a lot of music came from marching to war, it would make sense to have something 5/4 because we don't have 5 feet.
Why did it go as far as 4? Why not 1, 2, 1, 2?
We see 4/4 and 2/4 would be similar. Like 3/4 and 6/8 would be similar. It's like. Yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's just because...
For variety, is it? You could hit a double beat or something.
But like, so why is it like, when we're counting, it's not just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, for double the amount of times? Why was 1/4 the main one?
Well, 4/4. Like,
4/4.
There is 2/4 as well, like, it's like, but it's like, it's just...
The same thing, just halved.
Kind of, yeah. It's like
counted
basically 4/4 is 4 quarter beats per bar, and 2/4 is 2 quarter beats per bar. So like you could hear them the same.
Yeah, okay, I get you.
Yeah, so I was like, we don't dance in like 6/4 or 5/4 or 7/8. Like it's always like those more common ones, like because of like 6/8 is really common as well, because like it'll be like it's divisible by 2, and you're going to end up like, or 3/4, you'll end up on right then left and right then left, like, but it's like it's like I don't know, but 4/4 is really standard, and it came from like people marching.
Yeah, that's mad. That makes sense. So that's cool.
Speed up beats, they turn into chords as well.
If you
If you speed up beats, they turn into chords.
If you speed up beats, they turn into chords.
So like if you have a little recording that's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, but you speed it up like that,
Yeah.
they turn into a major.
Really?
Would it?
Yeah,
Wow, how fast does it have to go?
I don't know. Like
That's
it's crazy
extremely fast.
Yeah.
Till it's actually, you can't hear the difference
Yeah,
between
yeah,
it.
It's kind of like the Hoover thing earlier on, like that. If you slow that down, you'll hear it. It's like.
Oh yeah, it's just like, whoa, it's just a motor going.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But it
Hoovers aren't that bad after all.
No. We're a bit harsh on it, really.
Sound is just
Just a
vibration,
motor,
like,
dude,
so
it's
like, the faster it vibrates, the higher the pitch gets, like.
Yeah, I don't know, did we talk about this in the podcast, but me and you definitely talked about before about planes. You were telling me planes are in its own key, that if it goes out key. Did you ever hear that? That plane is like, its engine is in a certain key, and if it go, or like, a certain chord, I'm not sure, certain chord or
Goes
whatever.
out of it, yeah.
It goes out of it, that it's vibrating to an extent that if it goes out of that chord, it will make it stop vibrating to the extent where the part of the engine loosens up, and it will loosen the bolt, and then so don't play find out what chord it is, and don't play those songs that aren't on the plane. Just in case. I don't know if it's that sensitive. I hope not. I don't know. It's a message from us about planes or something. I think we're going to finish up now anyway. It's getting dark. It's getting dark. It's getting colder. Do you find it's getting colder?
Oh, yeah.
We're going to do a weather forecast every week as well.
It's cold now.
What's it going
yeah.
What?
Are you up for playing a song?
I will.
Yeah?
I don't know how to play it, but I'll play something.
What song? Anyone that won't get copyrighted by YouTube? Any, like, I don't know, I suppose original or a small song or something.
I don't really know any other songs, so yeah,
Fair.
I'll play one of my own ones.
Thanks to the Green Sheep again for letting us film here as always. A nice place to go if you're not a
One of
nice...
the hidden
no,
songs.
bad people are welcome as well, just...
Jesus.
This is a
Behave
bad
yourself.
sponsor. Bad people are welcome. I don't know. Right, I don't know. I'm just gonna pretend that didn't happen. Can you put that in reverse or something? Do like a reverse thing. Welcome to the Green Sheep. Green Sheep, this is a nice place. Reverse the whole thing. No, thanks to the Green Sheep for letting us film this here every week. It's a lovely place and lovely people are welcome. Did I do it right that time? Come on in. So we're going to finish off this episode. Owen's going to play a lovely song that hopefully isn't copyrighted by YouTube and cuts out all our audio. Still do that, like. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're going to do things. Thanks.